Oh, kid, you got this. Oh, no. Whoa. Go. Come on. Oh, no. Oh, but what? What the? Oh, he's in there. Whoa. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Did say Rei II? Your clone? Oh, my God. There's no way. That's no way. That's her. She's a clone. I think it's it. I think I was right. Whenever you're ready.
And welcome back to Pro and Noob. Are we 16 today? We are 16 today. We can get our provisional license in the UK.
Yeah, and in the US.
Oh, so I thought you were later than that.
No, we drink later. We drink later.
Yeah.
You guys drink at 18. We drink at 21. Which
you can drink at 14 in certain places.
Which, like, it's weird that you can fight and die in the military and not drink at 18. However, drinking at 21 physiologically makes more sense. It's just weirdly inconsistent with all the other shit you can do at 18. But
anyway, episode 23. One of the big ones. Because we've only got 3 more of the show to go.
I want to start by saying I have no predictions.
But you did.
Legitimately, I have no predictions for what comes next. That might be a lie. As we speak, I might realize that a couple thoughts I have are prediction-y. But as it stands, I have no and this is what's gonna happen next. Because I don't know what to make of what I know now.
You'll never know what hit you.
When you edit this, you better hard cut to the Ionized Bastards intro.
I might do. Depends.
You have to. When you say it, just you'll never know what hit you.
Great song. Great.
It's so good. It's so good. If you haven't checked it out yet, also go over to the All Mini Systems YouTube channel. We did a fun little live stream discussion about the first 2 seasons of Ionized Bastards. Dan and Alden couldn't make it. Scotty joined in. It was a lovely conversation. Mitch, did you catch it yet?
I am halfway through it.
Oh, how you liking it so far? Before we jump into the action, just emotional.
Jarod's stalling right now is what's happening, which I was surprised about. Very surprised about, but yeah, no, it's fun. Yeah,
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Come on in, Jarod. Because for some reason, you're not all like you were the other week. You're not all happy and elated about, holding 2 L's to make a W.
Well, I just first of all want to say, mic down for this, Jordan.
No.
I was right! Oh, yeah! Oh, that motherfucker was a clone! I knew shit was getting cloned! Oh! Okay. Anyway. Excited about that.
Congratulations, Jarod.
I know. I felt crazy. I felt crazy the first time that crossed my mind.
Well, she's a clone.
I was like, oh, Ray's a clone. Then the way you hit, where'd you get that from? I fully was like, oh, I am just reaching.
Say, that wasn't me acting. That was just a genuine, how in the fuck has he pulled that out of his ass? I don't get it.
Listen, it's instinct sometimes. Sometimes it's just fucking instinct that, my brain is like Pepe
I think it's because you spent the majority of your life watching clones, and so everything's a clone.
No, I've never assumed anything was a clone in my life until right now, and I was right. Play the Brennan Lee Mulligan Critical Role. I'm right! Clip. I need to download that onto my own StreamYard. Now that I'm thinking about that, that is a clip I need. So let's unpack reveals real quick.
Yep.
Just want to make sure all on the same page. So they discover Adam in the Arctic.
Correct.
We're just going to run down the timeline here.
Mm-hmm.
They discover Adam in the Arctic.
Mm-hmm.
Adam is dead, or Adam is in some type of slumber.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm asking, is he dead or in a slumber?
Oh, he's not dead. No, he's alive.
Okay, so they awaken Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Adam goes apeshit. Second impact.
Correct.
After Adam goes apeshit, they're like, we need to learn how to harness this power.
Mm-hmm.
And begin the process of trying to create the Avas.
Mm-hmm.
And fail a bajillion times. Bringing us to our cross-shaped graveyard.
Ava graveyard, yeah.
The Ava yard. The graveyard.
Oh.
So
the gravy yard. Tasty.
So that's where we get the graveyard. So they're working on this for forever. Now, question.
Mm-hmm.
What are the Dead Sea Scrolls? Is that like a forecast that Zila has made of like, this is what we think will happen? Because they do have intel because they say straight up, and I don't think they've alluded to this idea, that they have encountered that there is a number of angels they have been anticipating. And that each one has had the power set and physiology that has been dictated ahead of time.
Well, they did say when, I forget what episode it is, when you see them, Gendo and Futsuki in the Arctic getting the spear, that, the prophecy of the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Okay.
They kind of allude to.
So the prophecy.
They don't outright say what's in them. But
that was my next question, because they allude to, that was what I was getting at, is prophecy. So are the Dead Sea Scrolls a thing that Zila made? Or is that something that they found alongside the angels? Or alongside Adam?
They found
they found it. So there was I guess what I'm asking is, and this is again going towards my whole, like, there is a prophesied end time that is either being accelerated or an attempt to prevent. Did the Dead Sea Scrolls basically say, if you wake this motherfucker up, this is what's going to happen?
Can I... Plot. I'm just going to say plot.
Is that something that is yet to be revealed then? Like that is... So that is an answer I will get. Because I guess I'm just trying. I'm still. It's one of the few things I'm still hung up on that I just can't quite wrap my brain around. I don't know why. Is like
the context of the angels.
It's the context. It is the context with which they exist, unburdened by what has been.
I promise you will get an answer to that question.
And all the American viewers who did laugh at the Affleck joke also laughed at the joke I just made. But Kamala Harris says that in almost every single one of her speeches. She's like, you live in the context of everything.
Oh, that one, yeah. That one I know, but that I completely missed, yeah.
So the Dead Sea Scrolls are a thing they find that foretell that there will be a string of angels. Okay. And we don't know the end game of that prophecy.
No.
Yeah. No. Okay. That hasn't been alluded to. Okay. So find Adam, wake Adam up. Adam goes apeshit. That's the second impact. Millions die, and they go in their infinite knowledge. How can we recreate this for ourselves?
Like every human being would do, yeah.
Okay. So they do this. They do this thing that is just wildly stupid. And begin the process of trying to recreate Adam. Creating the Avas. Also loved just some beautiful, just straight up made in God's image. So that was Adam. And then Adam made something in his image. That was Eve.
Eve.
This sound like Wally. Okay, so to create the Avas, they synthesized angel and human DNA.
No.
Okay,
No.
so how are the Avas both angel and human then?
Well, then no.
Well, because earlier they say that the angels are all a copy of Adam.
Yeah. The Avas are copies of Adam. They're clones of Adam.
But then Shinji says that the angels are human.
So does Ritsuko early on. They're 98% match, remember?
Then where do the Rei clones come into it? Because I thought the whole point was that they're synthesizing human DNA. Is that more to come?
Yeah.
More context on that? Because as I understood it, is that the Avas are basically like are genetic copies of Adam with human DNA spliced within there, kind of like making it like a weird angel or angel human hybrid.
No. Just straight up copies of Adam.
Okay, then I am extremely confused on their human element there.
For right now, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
You said this is the episode I get all my answers, and I still have
all your answers.
glaring questions that I've been answering this whole time. There's no. The two big ones.
No, you haven't been doing
angels,
that.
What
no.
are the Avas? And there's still like huge missing puzzle pieces from those questions. I'm not
the show.
I got the Rei reveal, and I was right. About it.
Look, this episode does tell you something that kind of clicks your question together. I'm not sure if I want to answer that question yet, though, is my problem.
Okay, I would like you to, because there's clearly something that I am missing that is like hampering my ability to understand what the fuck is going on.
Roll for it. Right now.
What's the DC?
20.
Sticking with DC 50?
No, this is 20. This is a 20, yeah.
Okay. Am I at
if I answer this, is going to absolutely tell you something's going to happen like in an episode or two.
Okay.
Or it might do anyway. Yeah.
And we're adding my insight to it?
Sure. Right. I'll give you advantage on it. Why not?
Okay, so
why not?
Okay, so this would be a normal insight roll, and I would add 2 to that. And we're using Fabian Martel's character sheet as of like halfway through season 2. This isn't even me post level up in the middle of the season. So when you say you're going to give me advantage, are you saying you're going to give me the advantage of adding Fabian's insight, or are you saying I can roll twice to take the highest roll? Because that is what rolling with advantage means. And I am being honest by telling you that you are mixing.
Yeah, you are. We'll mix it up. You can roll twice and see what the highest one is.
Okay. $10 bump to 12, and that's not going to do it.
Okay. That's really unfortunate for you.
All right. Yeah. When am I supposed to get this final puzzle piece just said very plainly?
Next week.
Okay. I can live with that. If you had told me that, I wouldn't have even tried to roll for it. Okay.
Yeah.
This is as it stands. There's I don't know what it is. There's something about the context in which the bioengineering of it all. I'm like waiting for it to come back to like, and here is like how we did it.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, right? You're not going to get and here's how we did it. That's not how this show goes about things.
Okay.
I should hope you know
that. Knowing that does a lot for me.
Yeah, there's very much hints. They do kind of tell you everything like how it all works, but it's all, you got to piece it together yourself.
Okay. Because right now, I just, and let me say this, that this is less to do with me. Like, so right now, what I am experiencing is a dissatisfaction, not with the narrative, but with the fact that I'm super invested in this story.
Yeah.
That I want to have and this is how it works, because the show has done a great job at revealing the what is happening and not the how it's happening.
Yeah.
And I've been
I will promise you, before we get to, well, by the end of the first movie, when we do this,
good God. Okay.
That's what? 4 weeks, a month away. You flash back to when I told you about this episode. That was like 2 months ago. In fact, actually, it's 3 weeks because there's a double header.
Yeah.
I don't know if I say it now, if it's going to blow the whole ending wide open. Put it that way.
If you're that trepidatious about it, I don't want you to. And that's fine. And that's valid. No. That's fine. And that's valid. I guess for me, I am so excited to see, because I love the themes of this show so far so much. You know, like I said, there was a lot of stuff about individuality. There's a lot of stuff about creation. There's a lot about, you know, at what point do we draw the line with humanity of ourselves and of others, about how we create an other to make ourselves feel more united. There's a lot of that stuff. And I think it's very thoughtful. I think it's very intelligent. And I like it a lot. And it's one of those moments, if I can compare Evangelion to Star Wars for a moment, it's like like with Star Wars and with almost everything I love, but Star Wars is the best example for it because it's the most rich, it's the most target rich in terms of like how I can delineate it. I love Star Wars because of what it's about. There's themes about family and redemption and found family and reforging yourself in the face of trauma. Like, I love those themes all so much. And those themes hooked me in so hard that now I cannot get enough of how the universe itself works. And how that informs the other one and vice versa, right? Where it's like, oh, like I love metaphorically what the Force represents, and now I want to know down to the letter how the Force works in the universe. Because of its metaphorical saliency. And it's that's kind of like the feedback loop I'm stuck in right now.
Right. Pause this a second.
All right. So side line judge discussion. You have decided that you will illuminate some of the context from Ritsuko's monologue.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm just going to point something out.
Okay.
Right. Avas have human souls.
Yes.
Because that's what she says. So there's your human element of everything.
Now, are the human souls being...
You can say literal or no.
It's the funny thing about this show that it will be like that it's just scientific gobbledygook for 90% of it, and then it will make a hard turn into magic, like out of nowhere, and then rein it back into sci-fi.
Arguably the same thing.
You know, arguably the same thing. But like once we start talking about souls and stuff, No, and I'm not saying
Well,
like if your
what do you think?
spirituality or
What
faith
do you think
revolves
they
around
got
the
out
human
of
soul,
Unit 1?
I am not calling it fantastical, just like in the nature of storytelling. I want to make that abundantly clear. But are they like pulling the soul out of the Rei Ayanami clones, and that's why they're kind of soulless husks, and then just kind of like control Ving it into the Avas?
No, the Ayanami, the Rei husks are soulless.
Okay, so those are just churned out with no soul by default.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So where does the soul come from?
The person. The being.
Like the pilot?
I mean, the pilot has a soul, right? What happened to Shinji? That's what they fished out of Unit 1.
Okay.
You know, they got the little like.
So what you're telling me is that.
Like,
so what you're telling me are Avas or Kyber crystals.
No.
And that has been sitting under my nose the whole motherfucking time.
No, Avas aren't Kyber crystals. I guess you could say a core is a Kyber crystal.
Like the plug thingy?
No, the red.
Okay.
You know what they call an STL drive?
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
Okay.
That you see Rei Unit 0.
So I guess what I'm asking is, so it is the pilot's soul that is then kind of extrapolated onto the Ava while they're syncing up.
No.
So the soul is stored in the S2 drive.
Mm-hmm.
Whose soul is it? Okay, and I will get an answer.
Isn't that the question? Isn't
and that is a okay? Okay, see, this is what I love. This is what I love. This is what I needed. As long as
is that all good?
As long as I get an answer to whose soul, where the soul, we are in business, Mitch.
Mm. Are we in business if you get a quick answer to all three? Because hypothetically speaking, if you only got an answer to two of them.
Depends on the answer. If the answer implies enough of the other two, then I'm cool with that.
Okay, that's fine. That's cool.
I'm very okay.
But yes, that's they have. Avas have soul.
Man, wow, this show is so fucking good. Holy shit!
I know it's good.
This is so fucking good.
Somehow, despite being like one of the biggest shows in the 90s, it's severely underrated.
It is.
You get people like Alden, the slander, as funny as that was. The Dusty Corner is correct. We are very much in the Dusty.
Like I said, it's one of those instances where, you know, you hate to have to give it to Alden. You hate to have to give it to him. I hate when he's right a lot of the time. But yeah, no. Okay, cool. So also, I do want to give you credit where credit is due as someone trying to shepherd me through this experience. Ooh. With you trying to get me to lock in on the idea that Rei was killed by Ritsuko's mom.
I'll be honest, I regretted that the second we finished recording. Because I do this thing where I say something, we finish, and I go, why the fuck did I say that? I've really just pushed him into a direction.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. I think, had I not been saying for almost a month now,
it's probably longer than that, actually.
Maybe longer, that Rei Ayanami was a clone of some sort.
I can't remember what episode that was. Carry
on. But I have my spider sense tingled and told me Rei was a clone a while ago.
You did, yeah.
So if I never said that, and then you suggested the idea that Rei was killed in that moment.
It was 5 weeks ago. Episode 10.
So 5 weeks ago, so just over a month ago, I am like, I think Rei's a clone. I don't know who of, I don't know how, I don't know why. I don't think she's a natural birth. That if I wasn't on that tip And I don't know. I would have to go back and watch the episode and see if I even mention in my thought process how I got there.
Because thinking about it, I'm pretty certain you mentioned it actually before episode 10 of Pro and Noob, not the show. But in the Lies and Silence episode we did, you did say, I'm pretty certain you said how you got there. I just can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I can't remember my exact line there, but like just something in my brain went, wait a minute. So had I not said that and then you brought up, oh, but what if that killed Rei? That would be different. You bringing up the idea that Rei, like, because when I watched that episode, and even after you suggested that, I was still under the assumption that the Rei Ayanami who was strangled in that scene, that Ritsuko's mom stopped, was appalled by what she did, either thought she was dead or stopped herself, and then took her own life.
Now it just makes it a whole lot worse, right?
No, I mean, now it is, she did it.
She strangled that poor girl.
Kill her. And I think these are one of those instances where like you've seen this show enough times and you're so in the weeds with like what it's about and the themes and all of that.
I get lost in the source, try and give an answer is my problem.
But I feel like to you, like it's such a given what that moment represents.
I mean, even I can remember,
because I do think the show greatly implies, because I don't think the show has any crazy tells that Rei is a clone.
No, that's why I was so surprised when you said about it that one time. I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and again, my brain was just firing on all cylinders, and I'm very proud of Rei Ayanami as a clone.
This was that theory when we did, I think it was the D23 TNAP stream. And you said about giving you an answer like there and then. And I was like, you're kind of warm. Like you're right.
And every time you've said I'm kind of warm about something, I just thought that I was right about the fact that there was a conspiracy involving Nerve, which I have been right about. We just haven't gotten to the bottom of yet.
No.
You know, that like, and again, like, because like, oh, kind of warm, like I called a conspiracy, like I like half credit at best just for saying that. But no. So like I said, like I never assumed that Rei was killed. I thought maybe that there had been a Rei before her, and maybe there had been a Rei after her.
It does do that thing of you don't see a body. The only indication you get that she is dead is you see the arms drop for like half a second, or even that just goes. Thump,
and she turns a little blue. But again, like that is something somebody could come back from, especially if the adult strangling the child went, "Oh my god!"
I mean, sure,
and freaked out, you know, and the kid was resuscitated, and you know, it's all of that stuff. Like there was a moment there where I was toying with the idea, especially in this episode for a while, and I think I said it in the episode reaction. Was I was like toying with the idea that Rei's grievous injury all the way at the back of the beginning of the show killed her. And that the new Rei was a clone.
Which is fair enough.
And that's where the numbering starts. And that's kind of where my brain went, especially because this episode is Tears or Rei III.
Yeah.
So where I went with that was if it's Rei 1, and we see where she gets injured and dies, air quotes. And then Rei 2 is here's the new Rei. And then after she like she does sacrifice herself, she just survives it.
A Rei survives.
Rei came out of that. Which one? Who's to fucking say? Somehow Rei Ayanami returns.
She does. She says it. She guesses she's the third one, right?
And they so I was like, because when we see Commander Wakari and his sidekick, whose name I can't remember,
Fuyutsuki.
Whenever we see Akari and Fuyutsuki, like Tsuki, in the room together, and they're talking about, Rei's really hard to let go of. It looked like he had a new one cooking in that. I almost said back to tank, cooking in that tank already.
Oh, what the
because he knew it's time to keep it going. We got to keep it going.
Yeah,
we got to keep
the dummy
going.
plug tank.
The dummy plug tank, and
it probably does. In fairness,
yeah. So like, and that's where my mind went, is that every time we've seen Rei get grievously injured and come back from death's door, it was not she was at death's door and pulled through. The motherfucker died. She died and was brought back with a clone. Which now I know this is a show I cannot show Taylor, because if there was one thing she hates in fiction, it's I died, but I got cloned, baby.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, I mean, it depends on how you do it, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. But mostly because she...
That's me trying to justify that. It's like, no, if Taylor doesn't like it, that's fine. But it's me going like, well...
No, for sure.
Yeah,
like yeah. Well, I mean, she was just laughing about... I mean, the joke is mainly that she hates the Rise of Skywalker.
That's fair. That's fair.
Listen, I love her so much. And when I say that the biggest... like longest and in terms of volume argument she and I ever had was about the Rise of Skywalker. That's how...
I mean, she's right.
That's how well we get along. But like I am not kidding you. We sat in a Walmart parking lot in our car for like 45 minutes screaming at each other about this movie.
Is that directly after seeing it?
No, I had not known her at that time.
Oh, wow. Man.
I'm
just going to say, you can tell her this. She's right. No.
It's also one of my least favorite Star Wars movies. We were having an argument about themes and stuff that,
I'm still saying,
funnily enough, it had less to do with Palpatine and way more to do with Ben Solo.
That's interesting.
Yeah, which was very funny because she's very much like, Ben dying is fine, and I'm like, Ben dying is the most cowardly decision in that whole movie. Palpatine be damned. Which is a take I will take to the fucking grave. But
shock. Jarod being a wall of takes, I am befuddled.
Hey, listen, you and Armin raised me YouTube wise, so I
don't feel like that's fair. No.
I'm just saying. But anyway,
on me, I mean, yeah, sure, I will.
Yeah, and when I say raise me, I mean literally in my capacity to be like, this is my opinion, and you can kill me if you don't like it, or you'll have to kill me to make.
I will do that a lot. Yeah. I am a stubborn old guy.
You will never change my mind about Wild Wild West. You will never change my mind about a lot of Star Wars shit. Never changed my mind about Spider-Man 3. But no, so I never really assumed that Rey died when she got strangled. Like I was still very much on the clone of it all. And early on,
I honestly really thought I gave it away there at that point, and I went in with that whole bit at the end of that episode of trying to get you away from that. Being like, well, if she's a clone, how does she remember this bit, right? And it's just like,
no, I thought you were trying to make me justify my argument. I truly thought you were like, okay. I thought you were like, okay, now defend it. That is 100% where I thought you were coming from, because and maybe it's just my own decision to like maintain the mission of this show, that I take everything you say as though like you are a teacher who very badly does not want to give me the answer but give me tools.
Yeah, I mean, I have done that. Yeah.
And I thought it was one of those instances of, especially because me saying it was so befuddling. Like you seemed so shocked by it that I thought it was just sheer like, this, you sound ridiculous. That is not the direction this show is going.
But it is. It's exactly what.
And again, I thought it was one of those instances of, please make this theory make sense, coming from somebody who knew in my mind how wrong I was. That's kind of why like the Rey clone theory started kind of as a joke, and the more I was like really like keeping track of Rey, like in terms of her character, I was getting more and more like, she's a fucking clone. Like, and I truly thought, past a certain point, I was convinced I was gaslighting myself.
Mm.
Like, past a certain point, I was like, I am convincing myself of this.
I mean, I think you did personally, but you did it right.
When you're done. Is, you know, a supercut of all the times I said Rei Ayanami was a clone, and for you to be like, hey, Jared,
I think there's at least 3 times, and it's going to be a perfect number for it. Right.
What was that?
I said it's at least 3 times. That's a perfect number for it.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know if you saw that the thumbnail for the other Rei episodes, but they do just outright call it Rei 1 and Rei 2. It's like, if you look back in hindsight, you're like, you sneaky bastards. You told you just right there in the episode.
No, and that's what I was saying earlier. It was like the Rei, the Rei episode titles. I was like, oh, like you are sneakily talking about how this is the first one, the second one, and the most recent clone. And again, and that is why whenever we see Rei in the hospital, where Shinji's like, holy shit, you made it. Where like I was still very much like, I can't tell, you know, especially because the verbiage. Akari and what's the other guy's name again? I'm sorry.
Fuyutsuki.
The verbiage they use of Zile will be angry to learn that Rei survived. That is language being used by them who already know the truth. That implies that is the real Rei, or the most current real Rei. This is not the whatever Rei was on deck, right? So that is why that was the moment I started to go, oh, okay, like maybe she did just straight up survive. Still probably a clone, but this clone survived.
So this clone survives because they harvest parts from other clones.
Yeah, and the thing that I find very compelling, and I think the way that this really reinforces this theme of creation. You know, is that we have no reason to question Rei's humanity until right now. But
even then, do you? No.
But even then, do you? And if anything, watching the litany of Rei clones be disposed of is grisly and it's haunting. Because no matter what, that is a 14-year-old girl floating in a vat.
Yeah.
You know, and
well, this is where your question is humanity, right? Because if they're just soulless husks,
if they're just soulless husks, but it's like, were they created as soulless husks? So how did that happen? Like, it's a very, very complicated, and I love that, and I really, really love everything that the challenges the show is posing. I just find it deeply fascinating, and I do really love the Rei twist. Like I truly, even though I was predicting it, I was more shocked that it happened because I thought she was a clone.
Yeah.
Like, I sincerely feel like I was more stunned by that revelation than if I would have never thought of that. Like, I feel like, because again, I made myself feel fucking crazy saying it for so long.
That's what we like to hear.
All of that, very incredible. Absolutely punched in the gut with the Kaji Misato stuff. Absolutely punched in the gut. Hearing the extended message, really was a lot.
And now you know. Well, you don't know what's in it, but you know what he was doing with the capsule.
Yeah. And again, I really loved all of that goodbye, you know, Misato picking up his mission and being like, you know, your heart is with me because I continue your work. That got me good. So I loved all of that. I really loved a lot of the characterization throughout the episode. Speaking of the characterization throughout the episode, she's not going to get an apology from me.
She will.
But
I can tell you right now, she will.
But
she will.
I think Asuka is about. I think Asuka had an what we call an aha moment. I think Asuka had what we call an aha moment. And seeing her feel what she is feeling loudly, with no bravado, with no machismo, with no pretense.
What's machismo?
Like you know, that kind of like, hey, come on, man, come on, fuck you, I'm about to do, you know, like that kind of like.
I'll say, because I don't, like, I've never heard that word before in my life. So.
That shocks me. But
well, I'm not an American. It sounds very American.
With none of that, so just with none of that veneer, right? It makes me sad for her as to how she got here. It makes me sad for her as to what it took to get her here. But I'm really happy for her as the viewer, that I think this is the beginning of her being able to like reforge herself moving forward. And again, it's one of those things where I think a lot of everybody who's telling me, oh, we're talking shit about Asuka, it's like, I have not experienced Asuka's full arc. And everybody who has, I feel like I'm supposed to think she's fucking insufferable for the first 2/3 of this show.
That is a darling little girl. She's an angel.
Shut the fuck up. I can't fucking stand you. Oh my God. It's a darling little girl. It's a darling little girl. She's never done it.
See, now you're making it sound creepy. Like,
maybe I'll walk out of here tomorrow and you never see me again. That's really what I want to do.
That's really what I want to do.
Did you know he interviewed ChatGPT the other day?
No.
The most recent episode of Knowledge Fight, at time of recording, because we're recording this early. This is September 4th. Most recent episode of Knowledge Fight is a fucking hoot. And I cannot recommend it more. It starts with, I shit you not, it starts with, ChatGPT, do you know who Darth Vader is? Great. And within like maybe 3 minutes of that, ChatGPT, are you alive? Like it like.
Is this how we gotten that stupid Darth Maul Vader touching tips thing?
Probably. And then like 3 minutes later, he's arguing with ChatGPT. Like he's arguing with the chatbot. It's beautiful. Everybody go listen to Knowledge Fight.
I might actually listen to that one because that sounds.
Dude, please let me pill both you and Armin on Knowledge Fight. Give me that W. You're gonna be wearing roses.
Oh, see, you've ruined it now.
No,
I will watch it. I cannot give you that W. I can't. I will watch episode. Huh?
The Roosevelt's W, or just
no? I can't.
Knowledge Fight.
That both, I suppose.
Oh, fuck you. But
well, I mean, one's like £100 for a shirt. I can't.
I can hook
justify
you up.
it.
I can hook you up.
When there's an Evangelion one, I'm getting it.
Oh, that I can't justify £100 on a shirt sitting in front of, and I say this with all due respect because your collection is incredible.
Shut up!
Like with a crisp $5,000 in fucking action figures behind him. I almost full screened you, and I realized that would destroy the format you put on here in post.
I was trying to add up everything, and I'm like, how far off is he? And I think you're not far off, which I hate. Perfectly honest.
Listen, you have Hot Toys, I have Roosevelt's, Armin has both. Like, let's
just like, oh, that's disgusting. But I was like, that was 5, that was 5, that was 3, that was 2, that was 3, that was 5, that was 250, that was 50, that was 100.
But
anyway,
but yeah, no, I really did. Even Asuka, I think she had incredible characterization in this episode. I'm really fascinated to see what comes next for her.
Good.
I'm I truly have eyes on Asuka right now.
She's the best character in this show
in a way that I did not before. And I'm happy to say that. But yeah,
I will take that. The two L's of the Asuka slander have formed. It's a win. It's a win for me.
Listen, I'm just waiting because Asuka does not.
Had that dog at 12.
Oh, I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
I'm sure she does. I just saw that clip just like seducing me. I just saw
it's really
Brody
funny.
just beckoning to be played, and I'm like, oh, I haven't played you in a while.
It's really funny. Every time I say something that to a certain degree, you see your eyes like just scrolling the fucking clips.
Yeah, you know. That's why I can't wait for us to finish the studio so that I can have the monitor way more aligned with the camera again, so that you can't tell the moment somebody says something. I'm like, shit. Oh,
almost tasted that. Num, eat it up. Go play okay, 3, 2, 1.
I haven't seen the She-Hulk one in a while.
It's so long and I love it.
But yeah, no, I thought this was a really good episode. Absolutely incredible. God, I am so afraid as to what the fuck happens next. I'm so afraid. I am so scared. I am living in terror.
Yeah, I mean, I would be. With the benefit of knowing.
Yeah.
I would be, yeah. I wouldn't particularly get comfortable.
I have not been comfortable with this show in a long time. In fact, ever is a more apt one there. But
It's
yeah.
fine. It's fine. Kaji's gone. It's totally fine.
Oh, miss him.
R.I.P. Kaji.
I do like that Masato has Kaji's blicky, though.
His what?
His blicky.
What's a blicky?
His burner. His tool.
His
strap.
I don't know these young kid words.
Mitch, I have heard every single one of those terms in music that predates me by at least a decade. Blicky has made its way into the vernacular relatively more recently. Like that gets used more frequently.
That's because Gen Z likes to take everything that like millennials and other people had.
But
don't roll your eyes. You know.
No. Listen.
You know
one of the funniest things I've ever done in my life, and this is very pat on the back. But whenever Michael and a bunch of our friends did a like actual D&D campaign, not long after Ionized Bastard Season 1, you've played Soul Calibur, right?
Yeah. Years ago. Like Soul Calibur 2 was the last one I played, but yeah.
Oh my god. You've missed out on some good ones. Hot take. I am a big time Soul Calibur 4 defender, and that is post being demystified by the Star Wars characters.
I'm gonna be honest. If I was on a fighting game, I was a dead or alive kid. So
valid. Obviously I bought Soul Calibur 4 because of Star Wars, but stuck around with that franchise well past it. But do you remember Cervantes from Soul Calibur?
I think so.
Undead pirate guy, had Soul Edge for a while. He has the two swords. Yeah. See how the one sword has like a gun in the hilt? So I convinced Michael to let me use like the Cervantes swords in our campaign.
Classic. Yeah.
So just like a normal rapier, and then the other one was like a short sword with like the flintlock built into the sword hilt. And I was like, and I would like to name my weapon. And he goes, okay, cool. What would you like to name this like very fancy, like we were like, we flavored it as like, you know, because like we were doing like, so it was Exarian is the name of the world. And it's like from a lot of the Critical Role stuff was like, it was like D&D putting Critical Role in there. And some of Exarian is like kind of on that like verge of like gunpowder being a thing is kind of how it's coded. So like, you can have a gun, but, you know, depending on how magical you want to get with it, yeah, you know, whatever. And he was like, oh, and we flavored it. It's like kind of like a secret technology that like that this empire is developing. That my character, his name is Victor. I put them together. It's like got his hands on, and it's and he's like, okay, it was really cool. It's really cool. What do you want to name it? I was like, Blicky, and he fucking rolled his eyes so hard I thought they were going to fall out of his head. But this fantasy setting Blicky.
I mean, I can't blame him on that one.
Oh no, it was very stupid.
Yeah.
This is the same campaign where I did a wrestling move that liquefied a goblin in combat.
Classic.
I rolled a nat 20 and super kicked a goblin through a tree.
Isn't that from Dimension 20 or Critical Role?
What?
It's kicking a goblin through a tree.
No,
No,
not to my knowledge. There's a lot of dumb fucking bits, and I say that with nothing but love, like dumb bits in a good way from both of those shows, Dimension 20 especially. And to my knowledge, nobody has like notoriously super kicked a goblin through a tree. And I said super kick. So like I meant like sweet chin music. Like wind up, clap on the thigh, heel to the face. And I rolled a nat 20, so I just threw a tree. And it became a bit in the sessions after that my character would not stop talking about doing that and trying to recreate it and not being able to do it.
Nice.
Which is kind of the story of my life.
Oh. Speaking of recreating things, did you notice how close they were to an impact in this episode?
Yeah, because the angel was starting to like consume the Avas again, and that got trippy.
So, because all the angels come out the back.
Yeah.
That first mass is all like the angels from prior ones, which is a really nice animation touch. I like that bit. But yeah. When it's about to explode, she's like,
oh,
almost impact, baby.
Chilling.
Near third
chilling.
impact. Well, yeah,
But
I like this episode a lot.
Me too. This is a banger.
Well, get ready for another one.
Twofer or one for?
No, this is your last single.
Wow. I'm obviously not counting the movies, which are all going to be singles too. But last single for the series.
Yeah. And then you got the.
So this is my last single, and then we blitz the finale,
the next one we talk about is your last single.
Yeah. So the next, that's what I'm saying. So the next one we talk about is the last single, and then after that, we're doing a blitz of the finale.
Yeah.
So next week is basically the penultimate episode, for all intents and purposes.
It's yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I am so afraid.
I'm going to give you this warning now.
Okay.
It doesn't tell you a single thing about it. There is a hold frame in the episode that is 1 minute and 2 seconds long. So do not worry about your TV. It is loading fine.
You want to hear a really pathetic moment I had? Because I watched this episode on my laptop because I was not logged into on my computer here. But since we recorded the reaction, I just did it on the camera. And one of the first things I thought watching the intro on my computer, I dead ass, and I don't think I said it out loud, but I certainly thought it went, wow, this is really smooth. And I don't know why. Only Netflix runs like a brand like runs like Jedi Survivor on a PC on both of my televisions in my house. Like,
wow. That must really suck for a 4x3 animated cartoon from the 90s.
Right? Because I'm sitting over here like Disney Plus, not a problem. Hulu, not a problem. Prime, not a problem. All work just fine on both TVs with none of this weird lag.
That's so weird.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to watch Evangelion, and I think Unit 1 is raw dogging an angel.
Classic.
Because it's moving all weird and the sound is out of sync.
Oh, imagine if that actually happened.
I would not put it past the show.
Probably like AO3's got it in there somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
The amount of fan fiction they've had over the years, like there's definitely something like that.
Man, I've read some wild AO3 Star Wars fanfic.
That doesn't surprise me. No.
I read.
I'm always afraid of that website.
I mean, it's a good mix of like narrative and smut, and there's nothing wrong with the smut.
No, but it's no.
Do your thing, but it can go to like a buck wild place. There's one I read because a friend of mine was like, "This is actually low key crazy. You should read it." Shouts out to M, formerly of Pink Milk, where the Knights of Ren run a train on Rei.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, it was very well written. Props. Shouts out. I don't remember the author. I remember being like, wow, like you really committed to this premise.
I mean, at least someone did something with the Knights of Ren, I guess. You know, they saw something at least somewhere.
Yeah. And not just the business end of Ben Solo's lightsaber blade.
Oh. Well, I assume that's in another fanfic somewhere.
Maybe it's also in the movie. It's the best. Low key, my favorite part of that whole movie is that moment. And then he dies.
R.I.P.
His last words were, ow.
Thank you, J.J. Abrams.
That's a Chris Terrio one for that. Yeah.
I mean, directors gets the last call, don't they?
Or no?
That was Terrio.
Who was the Jurassic Park guy who didn't? Colin Trevorrow. Okay. I get them mixed up sometimes. But yeah, that's this week. Next week, last single episode.
Yeah, just remember, your TV is working fine. Or your laptop's working fine.
I might watch it on my laptop for the rest.
I think you should, to be honest. Yeah. Especially the first movie. You need to watch that first.
Okay. Cool. But yeah.
So we'll catch you next week. Follow Jarod on the TNAPs and the Linktrees and the Twitters and wherever else Jarod is. Like, comment, subscribe on the channel. And we'll catch you all next time. So, bye.
Have a nice day. Rei III.
Hey guys, thanks for watching or listening, whatever flavor you prefer. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the good stuff so you don't miss an episode. And of course, leave a comment, tell us what you thought about this episode of Neon Genesis. If you watched it before or you haven't, I generally love to hear what people think about this show. If you're following along with us, that's great. If not, and you watched it before, tell us what you think about this one specific episode in particular, because we are trying to keep Jarod spoiler free as much as possible. And yeah, any help is greatly appreciated for this little channel project we're working on here, trying to build this up. And of course, we can't do that without you guys. So yeah, any help is greatly appreciated, and we'll catch you all for the next one. So take care.